Javon Solomon from Troy. Talk about a school that you don't hear too much on, Troy, but every so often they get a good player coming from there, and this is that every so often. Um, Javon, 6'2", 245 pounds there in 14 games, 44 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. So not that great a year, but all of a sudden this year, woohoo, he learned something.
Yeah.
2013, 14 games, 56 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 16 sacks, which led all of college football, by the way. 2 fumble recoveries, 3 forced fumbles, and a 90.8 PFF grade. Now, keep in mind, when we're talking sack totals here, guys, I want you to remember this too. These aren't 17-game seasons like the NFL. So if you're comparing the NFL, that's not the right comparison to make there. So we said, a minute ago, Murphy had 8 sacks in 13 games. That'd be like having an 8, it'd have like a, a 9-10 sack season at that point in the NFL. 16 in 14 games. Yeah, that's like the equivalent of having almost 20 in a season. Like he is tearing it up. Pros and con wise, he gets to the quarterback is obviously an obvious pro. We're gonna get to right there because that's the name of the game. Great spin move. And it's not just a spin move that you look at and you go, that's good for a guy from Troy. No, he's got a really good spin move in general. And it's one that works very effectively and one that most people think will work very effectively in the NFL even. Worked very well at the Senior Bowl for him even. Got good bend, got good burst. So, a lot of the tools that you want to see that you can't teach. As far as the cons to him there, the biggest con is he has trouble getting off blocks. Again, we said he's 245 pounds. So a lot of times when you're 240, you're not going against guys that are smaller than you. You're going against guys that are typically much, much bigger than you. That's an issue a lot of times. So, going to have to learn how to just either stop them from getting a hold of him in general or get more moves at that point to go ahead and get off those blocks. The other con, yeah. The other con is he wasn't asked to run stop often. So I'm putting in the cons, but again, you guys know if you watch the show on a regular basis, I don't like to blame people for not showing they can do things they're not asked to do. But run stopping is a big part of defense, obviously. It's 50, you say it's 50%. It's literally that's that important. And he just didn't do it. They literally would tell him, go for the quarterback. Just keep going for the quarterback. Keep going. Part of why it's 16 sacks. Keep going for the quarterback. So, we don't know if he can do well. He may be able to do well for all we know. We're worrying about nothing. But you have to imagine, considering he was never asked to do it, that there's probably some kind of learning curve there. And you got to imagine it's going to be there. I mean, I think he's another guy you probably see in round 4. Again, small school, so you got to imagine there's going to be a learning curve from there. Didn't ask to run stop, learning curve there. So he'll start off, it's kind of similar to what we just said a minute ago about Gabriel Murphy. He's going to start off as a pass rusher specialist. You look at the numbers and you can pretty much tell, obviously, why he would be a great pass rush specialist at that point to bring off the bench and obvious passing downs. And then you just work with him during the season at that point, show him better as far as how to stop the run, teach him some additional moves. Obviously, again, I say this every time we get a small school guy, and I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say it, because those coaches know more than me and Rob about football. I'm not saying they're bums, but they don't know nearly as much as the guys at the big school, and they literally don't know half as much probably as the guys at the NFL level. There is a difference in the teaching abilities, and there's a difference in the knowledge level they have. So go in there, let him sit for a year or two behind somebody, let him learn. And eventually this guy could, if he gets good at stopping the run, he could end up being a very good starter for somebody in the steal in the draft. But he's going to take a little time to develop, and you're going to have a little patience with him. So.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.